Dang, son, look at those gains. Man.
Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? So tonight's video is the SNX pump a bull trap. That's a great question. So what we're trying to do is get away from speculation and go more into the probabilities of what's happening with this token. Let's get right into it. So as you know, this thing has been up and down, up and down, up and down. It was $1.50. You know, you go over to the minter and you're totally you're tempted to mint some SUSD, but let's look at the TA on this, which, you know, I take TA sometimes with a grain of salt, but let's look at it. So first and foremost, looking at 1334, we did have a strong cross on the weekly around $1. Volume picked up. You know, we had some sells in here, but it rebounded and pushed on through. Let's add, let's see, so moving 200. Okay, so let's look at the monthly. Now, this is where you start to see a pattern. As you know, I've been talking about the reward flippers. Those are the people that are buying the token right before the snapshot and then selling the token after the snapshot, or more indicatively, I'm starting to see that it seems like some people are selling before the snapshot, basically selling into the strength of people FOMOing in and trying to get their collateralization level fixed. But let's look at the calendar. All right, so if we look here on the 6th, we had a dump on a Monday, so huge dump. But this isn't as important because we're kind of already in a downward trend here. Tuesday, another dump. So, you know, these dumps kind of look like they're occurring before the snapshot where people are selling right before. Now, let's look at this one, 110. So here's a Friday. That's really kind of an anomaly, up and down, and then it just really spiked down. And then we picked back up, and the 13 crossed, and on the 14th, which again, another Tuesday, we had the dump. So what is this pattern starting to tell me probability-wise? That people usually dump on Tuesday or a day or two before the snapshot. So it's like they're selling into the strength of people buying the coin for whatever reason. So we move in, then we did a little accumulation, and then on the 19th, again, a Sunday, another big dump. And then obviously when in this thing we had that massive 80K dump by somebody on Uniswap cashing out. So moving on, another pump, 22nd. That is on the day of the snapshot, and then a dump. So basically they got the rewards and then they dumped the token. Now I do know as a temporary measure they put in higher fees, so if you hold on this week the rewards should be pretty phenomenal. So that takes us to the current timeline. So we've had another massive pump, higher high, higher lows. So, you know, from a strictly TA standpoint, it's looking solid. But let's zoom out a little to the 3-month. On the 3-month, we had a really strong negative divergence, took us all the way down, and we don't have the confirmation on the 1334 yet. You know, I like the 1334, but speculatively, you have to make sure it confirms and basically breaks through and retest. It doesn't break below the 34. On to the 6-month. So the 6-month not looking as pretty. We have the coin trying to break above, but this is kind of premature for where the 13 is. So on a bigger macro level, it looks like we still have negative divergence as this curves around, with the possibility of a big pump. 1 year. So once again, even less strength. As you can see here on the 13, stays well above the 13, you know, the whole time. And not only is it above the 34, but it's popping above the 13. So this is the big confirmation. So from a probability standpoint, it looks like, I mean, this was the all-time pop for the while. Kind of looks like a bull trap, sort of, probability-wise, going to the all. As you can see, the 13 on the all paints a different picture, that we are still well above. However, we are overextended per se, because we have not touched back down to that 67 cents level. Let's look at the volume profile. Now, this tells a different story. As you can see, massive volume, that 80K dump in that area, you know, 50, 50, 50, 50. So looking at the current volume profile, it looks like we have buyers. I would say it's about 70% to 30%. Now, if I would be trading some of these pre-dumps, I would say that I would probably have a much bigger stack of SNX if I was willing to miss out on the rewards. The advantage there is you have people, basically there's two types of people. You have the people that are in, well, three types. You have OTC folks, you have the people trading within the system, and then you have people that aren't staked and they're just trading this coins for gains. You know, if I use that as an indicator this week and I dumped, and then we retested back down to, let's say, the dollar range, I could make quite a bit of money, like $1,000 to $1,600. Now that's saying that it's gonna break back down again. So statistically, at this point, I would say, in my opinion, based on the history of the coin, I'm going to wait on the side that it's a bull trap. Just because, I mean, look at the volume difference, that there's not enough volume here to support this price. And probability, I could be wrong, and don't quote me on this. I personally am going to continue to hold my stake this week, but think of this as kind of a test, and see if this confirms that we do have people that are kind of manipulating and selling into the strength pre-reward and then rebuying when it dips back down again. So with that being said, that is my call on this. I do think it is a little bull trap. Now, how far down could this retrace? It's not parabolic, so, but I would say what comes up must come down. If we retest back down to there, we could see the dollar range again if this fails on its pump. Now, some people are going to say it's kind of a flag formation and it's getting ready to break out. That's tough to say, but like I said, based on the probability, more so than speculation, of the patterns which repeated in the past, I would say it's a trap. So, but I want to get my rewards this week. I kind of have a goal. I'm trying to make it to basically 1,000 in rewards. Right now I've got about 600 tokens in escrow, so I'm basically waiting until that weighs out my debt. Then I may possibly consider reducing my position a little bit, because I feel at times SNX is a great project, but a lot's happening and it's very volatile. So I would proceed with caution if you are getting these tokens and staking or trading it. So hope you enjoyed tonight's video. Like, subscribe. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.